The 7-1-13 is watching a very clear message being sent during practice this week regarding how we evaluate talent. A subtle but notable change just went down as the coaching staff officially settled a month-long position battle. They made a quick roster cut to thin out a highly contested spot because they want total continuity on the field. The staff openly admitted that raw potential is not enough right now, and they are demanding pure consistency instead. Discover which underdog just got his walking papers and who officially secured the starting gig for our squad. The Houston Texans have officially parted ways with punter Jack Stonehouse, a move that leaves Kai Kruger as the only player remaining at the position on our current roster. Stonehouse joined the organization back in April as one of our many undrafted free agent signings, and he spent the last 3 months locked in a head-to-head battle with Kruger to secure the starting job. It is always a difficult reality of this business to see a young prospect get cut during the heat of training camp, but the front office clearly decided that the time was right to move on. What makes this even bigger is that special teams coordinator Frank Ross specifically pointed toward consistency as the deciding factor in why the team chose to stick with Kruger for now. Ross admitted that while these decisions are never easy, they need to focus the group's attention on a single specialist to build necessary continuity before the regular season begins. Honestly, as fans, we have seen how important that rhythm between a punter, a long snapper, and a holder truly is. So prioritizing a consistent operation makes perfect sense to me. Even though the team reportedly held workouts for other free agents like Jack Browning earlier this week, no additional moves have been finalized yet. This leaves us wondering if Kruger is truly the long-term answer, or if the front office is simply waiting for the right opportunity to upgrade the room before we head into Week 1. Will the staff feel comfortable heading into the opener with only one punter on the squad? The choice to clear the path for Kruger suggests the coaching staff is prioritizing the comfort of the operation over the intensity of the summer training camp battle. We saw this roster shift materialize rapidly following the team's Saturday night practice, marking the first major personnel adjustment at the position since the busy days right after the April draft. And the more I look at this, the reality sets in that the front office is likely trying to avoid the type of messy, split-focus training that can hinder a specialist's rhythm. Having two guys fighting for reps is great in theory, but it can occasionally create a lack of focus that hurts the overall stability of the snap and hold. Kruger brings experience from his time with the New Orleans Saints, and Frank Ross is clearly betting that the guy who shows the most stability will pay off during the pressure of the regular season. It is a tough reality for a young player like Stonehouse to lose his spot during the most physically demanding part of the year, but the team is clearly not afraid to keep the roster churn moving if it means finding the right fit for the unit. Even with workouts involving guys like Jack Browning earlier this week, the decision remains to keep our options open while waiting for the absolute right upgrade. Developing this kind of technical continuity is exactly what we need to see from the special teams room as we transition into the final phase of the summer. Even if it feels a bit unusual to move forward with just one player at such a volatile position. So that is the state of our punting situation. Now let's get into the significance of this move for our upcoming schedule. Now here's the thing. This decision to trim the roster is about far more than just shuffling bodies during training camp. It signals that our front office is prioritizing absolute precision for every single special teams snap before we face high-stakes division rivals. While Kai Kruger currently stands alone as the only punter left, this move forces a tighter, singular focus on his development rather than splitting precious practice reps between two competing specialists. If you ask me, watching the team commit to one guy this early is a bold way to build trust, especially since Frank Ross highlighted that the goal is to improve that rhythm with the long snapper and holder immediately. With the intensity of the season fast approaching, the pressure on this unit to flip the field and win the hidden yardage battle becomes the difference between a narrow victory and a frustrating loss. We have a tough road ahead, and every possession matters in the standings. So having a punter who truly understands the team's operational expectations is vital. While we may still see the front office look for competition to push Kruger, the immediate impact is a cleaner, more streamlined room focused strictly on that specific goal of consistency. By betting on him now, the team is banking on his ability to handle the spotlight without the lingering distraction of a daily training camp duel. We are heading into the season with a clear direction, even if that path currently involves only one man standing in the punting position. The decision to release Jack Stonehouse immediately simplifies our special teams operation, as the team no longer has to navigate a split-rep environment during these high-intensity summer practices. By consolidating power under Kai Kruger, we allow our holder and snapper to build a singular rhythmic relationship that pays off under game day pressure. Here's the thing nobody wants to say out loud. Carrying two punters is a luxury that often masks a lack of confidence in your primary specialist. So moving on now suggests the coaches believe Kruger is ready to handle the load. However, the glaring downside is our current lack of a safety net. If Kruger suffers an injury or loses his composure during the upcoming preseason games, we are left scrambling with no internal replacement on the active roster. Analysts around the league have noted our recent interest in external options, specifically pointing toward players like Jack Browning, who recently worked out for the organization. While some critics argue that bringing in a veteran punter would provide more security than banking on a single unproven prospect, I believe the front office is smart to avoid panic signings right now. If you ask me, the choice to trim the roster proves they are looking for a specific type of consistency that cannot be manufactured through a revolving door of camp bodies. I think keeping Kruger solo shows guts, but the front office must stay diligent during the waiver wire period if they want to ensure we have a reliable leg for the long season ahead of us. We need stability, and for better or worse, we are now placing that entire burden on one man. When we weigh the release of Jack Stonehouse against our current roster construction, the strategy becomes clear. Our leadership is shifting focus from open competition toward building a singular, reliable foundation for the long haul. This decision serves as a blueprint for how this front office views the upcoming seasons, prioritizing precise operational stability over the standard churn of training camp. I feel encouraged by this direction because it shows a willingness to define roles early, which is exactly the kind of intentionality we need to thrive in a highly competitive division. And I cannot stress this enough. The decision to entrust Kai Kruger with these responsibilities signals that the coaching staff has found a level of steadiness they are comfortable building upon. Developing this specific continuity is a move that suggests we are moving past the experimental phase of our special teams development. It is a bold approach that relies on the belief that a singular focus will pay dividends when we are fighting for every yard in the winter months. While there is always a risk associated with carrying only one specialist, the internal confidence expressed by Frank Ross suggests we have the right man to handle the pressure of the field. We should feel secure knowing the team is aggressively vetting all possibilities while simultaneously committing to the man they trust today. Does the current commitment to Kai Kruger as the solo punter provide you with enough confidence for the season opener, or would you still prefer to see another body brought in for competition? If you enjoyed the video, do not forget to like it and subscribe to the channel. Toro time. I'll see you in the next one.